Hi, I'm Angus from Let's Learn English, and I'll be your teacher today. Today we're going to look at the present perfect simple and present perfect continuous. We should already know the form of the present perfect simple, subject plus have plus past participle. The present perfect continuous has the form subject plus have plus been plus present participle. For example, it has been raining a lot recently. Well, do we use the present perfect simple or continuous? We use the present perfect continuous to talk about an action which has happened repeatedly in the recent past. I've been suffering from bad headaches for the last few weeks. With this use, there is a clear difference between the present perfect simple and present perfect continuous. So, I've broken my arm. That's acceptable. I've been breaking my arm. That's unacceptable. Here, the idea of an action being repeated means that the second sentence sounds very strange. I've been waking up very early recently. That's acceptable. I've woken up very early recently. That's less acceptable. Here, the use of the word recently makes the first sentence seem much better than the second sentence, as it suggests a repeated action. Sometimes, however, the difference is rather smaller. Attacks have continued throughout the night. Acceptable. Attacks have been continuing throughout the night. That's acceptable too. Here, the use of the plural form attacks and the use of throughout the night makes it clear that we are talking about more than one attack. Either form is possible here. We also use the present perfect continuous to talk about an action continuing to the present. Jack has been living at his mother's house ever since his wife left him. Here, the difference between the present perfect simple and present perfect continuous is sometimes not obvious. I've worked at this school for the past 5 months. That's acceptable. I've been working at this school for the past 5 months. That's equally acceptable. It's obvious that the meaning of the second sentence is not that the person started working 5 months ago and hasn't even left the school building yet. If the time frame is very long, the present perfect simple becomes more common than the present perfect continuous. Members of my family have lived in this house for over 700 years. That's acceptable. Members of my family have been living in this house for over 700 years. That's less acceptable. The idea of continuity seems odd here, as, though it is obvious we are talking about different generations of the same family, it sounds like we are talking about individual members of the family who are over 700 years old. As with all continuous tenses, do not use the present perfect continuous with stative verbs. I've had a cold for almost a week. That's correct. I've been having a cold for almost a week. That's wrong. Also, don't use the present perfect continuous in passive forms. Cars have been stolen around here a lot recently. That's correct. Cars have been being stolen around here a lot recently. That's wrong.